Welcome back to Cool Tech Channel, this time with a cool story about Amazon. Well, it all started in a garage. This was the reality for Jeff Bezos in the summer of 1994. He had a good job on Wall Street, a comfortable life, a promising future. But he saw something others did not. The internet was exploding, growing 2,300% a year. Mackenzie drove. He typed a business plan on his laptop, drove across the country to Bellevue, just outside Seattle. The destination was the start of a new kind of company. It was cramped, smelled of mildew, extension cords snaked across the concrete floor, powering 3 SunSpark stations, sitting on desks made from wooden doors from Home Depot. This was the first Amazon office. A key feature was a brass bell. Bezos installed it. Each customer order made it ring. At first, rings were infrequent. Each was a small celebration, a real person trusting the new site. Soon, rings became more frequent. The choice of Seattle was deliberate. Not the center of tech like Silicon Valley, but with a large pool of tech talent thanks to Microsoft. Close to a major book distribution warehouse in Oregon. Bezos was a pragmatist as well as a dreamer. He understood logistics. He needed to be near the physical books he planned to sell. The garage, the door desks, the bell. Humble physical origins of a global empire built one practical step at a time. So, why books? Jeff Bezos made a list. He analyzed 20 different product categories he could sell online. He looked for something that had a low price point. He wanted something with a vast number of available titles, something that traditional physical stores could never fully stock. Books were the perfect answer. At the time, even the largest brick-and-mortar superstores could only carry about 150,000 titles. But the total number of books in print was in the millions. An online store had no physical shelf space limitations. It could offer a virtually unlimited selection. This was the core insight. Bezos initially favored Cadabra, as in abracadabra. His lawyer, however, misheard it as cadaver, which quickly killed the idea. Another option was relentless.com. If you type that URL into your browser today, it still redirects to amazon.com. He wanted a name that suggested scale. He scrolled through a dictionary and landed on Amazon. It was the largest river in the world. It suggested a massive, flowing, and unstoppable force. Amazon would be Earth's biggest bookstore, a river of books flowing to customers everywhere. Physical bookstores were like ponds, limited in size and scope. Amazon would be a vast, interconnected waterway. It would connect readers with obscure and hard-to-find titles just as easily as bestsellers. This was the long tail theory in practice, even before the term was coined. Most stores focused on a small number of popular items. Amazon could profit from the enormous number of niche items that, in aggregate, made up a huge market. The initial business plan was both ambitious and cautious. Bezos projected large losses for the first several years. He told early investors that there was a 70% chance they would lose their entire investment. He understood that building the necessary infrastructure, brand, and customer trust would take time and a lot of capital. The river of books was just the starting tributary for a much larger ocean of commerce he envisioned. On July 16, 1995, Amazon.com officially opened for business. The website was simple by today's standards. It was mostly text with a searchable database of 1 million book titles. Bezos and his small team of programmers had spent a year building it. They tested it extensively with beta users. They were obsessed with making the ordering process as smooth and bug-free as possible. They knew that a single bad experience could turn a customer away forever. Trust was the most valuable currency on the early internet. Every line of code, every button, every instruction was designed to build that trust with a skeptical public who were not yet used to entering their credit card details online. The first book sold on Amazon.com was not a grand symbolic title. It was a science textbook. The book was called Fluid Concepts and Creative Analogies, Computer Models of the Fundamental Mechanisms of Thought. It was purchased by an Australian computer scientist named John Wainwright. His order officially marked the transition from a test project to a live commercial enterprise. There was no big launch party. There were no press releases. The website simply went live. The team waited anxiously to see if anyone other than their friends and family would find them and place an order. The orders started to trickle in, then they began to flow. Within 2 months, Amazon was selling books in all 50 United States. It was also shipping to 45 different countries. This was achieved with no paid advertising. All of the growth came from word of mouth. The early Amazon team packed the books themselves. They worked on their knees on the hard concrete floor of the garage. They would then drive the packages to the post office. It was a grueling, hands-on process. It was a far cry from the automated fulfillment centers of today. One of the site's early innovations was the customer review. This was a radical idea at the time. Book publishers were horrified. They asked, "Why would you allow negative reviews? You're trying to sell books." Bezos's response was simple and profound. "We don't make money when we sell things. We make money when we help customers make purchase decisions." Customer reviews became a cornerstone of Amazon's success, creating a community and a source of credible information that no physical store could match. The success with books was just the beginning. Bezos's vision was never limited to being just a bookstore. His goal was to create the everything store. Books were the proof of concept. They proved that people were willing to shop online. By 1998, with the company growing rapidly and having gone public a year earlier, it was time for the next step. Amazon began to expand its digital shelves. The first new categories were music CDs, movies on VHS, movies on DVD. These were logical extensions. They were physical media, similar to books in size, shape, and shipping logistics. The same warehouses and processes could be used. This expansion was a critical test. Would customers who came to Amazon for books also buy music and movies? The answer was a resounding yes. The trust and convenience they had experienced buying books transferred seamlessly to the new categories. This success emboldened the company. Soon after, Amazon began to add toys, electronics, software. Each new category brought new challenges. Electronics were more complex and had higher price points. Toys had seasonal demand peaks. But with each expansion, Amazon learned. It developed new skills in supply chain management, inventory control, merchandising for a wider array of products. One of the most important steps in this journey was the launch of Amazon Marketplace in 2000. This was a revolutionary move. Amazon opened its website to third-party sellers. Small businesses, individuals could now list their own products for sale right alongside Amazon's own inventory. This dramatically expanded the selection available on the site overnight, without Amazon having to invest in buying the inventory itself. It turned competitors into partners. Instead of trying to beat every small online seller, Amazon invited them onto its platform, taking a commission on each sale. This was a pivotal moment, shifting Amazon from being just a retailer to becoming a platform for commerce. This expansion phase was fueled by a relentless focus on the customer. One of Amazon's core leadership principles, customer obsession, was forged during this period. The company pioneered features like one-click ordering, which patented the idea of buying something with a single mouse click, removing friction from the checkout process. It personalized the shopping experience, using a customer's browsing and purchase history to recommend other products they might like. They were building a flywheel. Better customer experience, more traffic, attracted more sellers, expanded selection, even better customer experience. By the middle of the 2000s, Amazon was, well, a successful online retailer. But it was about to launch two initiatives that would transform it into a completely different kind of company. The first, launched in 2005, was a seemingly simple loyalty program called Amazon Prime. For a flat annual fee of $79, customers could get unlimited 2-day shipping on eligible purchases. At the time, this was a huge gamble. Shipping was a major cost for Amazon, and giving it away for free seemed financially reckless. Many inside the company were skeptical. They ran the numbers, and the math looked scary. The program could lose millions, but Bezos saw it differently. He understood human psychology. He knew once people paid the fee, they'd try to get their money's worth. They would concentrate their shopping at Amazon to take advantage of free shipping. Prime would change behavior, turning occasional shoppers into loyal, frequent customers. He was right. Prime members bought significantly more than non-Prime members. The program created a powerful lock-in effect, transforming customer relationships from transactional to membership-based. Over time, Amazon added more Prime benefits, video streaming, music, making Prime indispensable in millions of households. Now the second transformative idea was born out of Amazon's own internal struggles. As Amazon expanded, its tech infrastructure became a bottleneck. Different teams were building their own computing resources, inefficient and slow. Engineers were tasked with building a centralized, scalable, reliable infrastructure any team could use. They succeeded, and a radical idea emerged: sell that infrastructure to others. This became Amazon Web Services, or AWS, launched in 2006. AWS departed from retail. It offered raw computing power, data storage, and other internet services. It allowed startups and established companies to rent computing infrastructure instead of buying and managing expensive servers. The cloud model revolutionized tech, dramatically lowering the cost of starting a software company. It powered countless startups including Netflix, Airbnb, Spotify. For Amazon, AWS was a hidden giant, incredibly profitable compared with low-margin retail. AWS profits fueled risky new ventures and let Amazon keep retail prices low, further accelerating the company's growth flywheel. Amazon had conquered the world of physical books. In 2007, it set out to reinvent the book itself. The company launched the Amazon Kindle, an electronic reading device. It wasn't the first e-reader, but it got it right. The Kindle had a revolutionary e-ink screen, easy on the eyes. It mimicked the look of real paper. Its true magic was wireless connectivity. A user could think of a book, using the Kindle, buy and download it in less than 60 seconds. No computer needed at all. Seamless integration with the Amazon store removed friction from buying and reading digital books. Bezos was passionate about the Kindle project. He told the team, "Make the device disappear. The reader should become so engrossed they forget the gadget." He wanted the experience to beat a physical book. Many love the feel and smell of paper books. Advantage, thousands of books in one lightweight device. Advantage, change font size. Advantage, instant access to new titles. The Kindle was a massive success. It didn't kill physical books, but it created a huge new market. It solidified Amazon's dominance over the book industry. 7 years later, in 2014, Amazon released another device, a simple black cylinder, the Amazon Echo. Inside was a voice assistant named Alexa. At first, people were puzzled. What was this for? It was a smart speaker, a new category. You could talk to it, ask it questions, play music, set timers, get the weather forecast. It seemed like a novelty. But Bezos had a grander vision. They saw voice as the next major computing interface. After the mouse, after the touchscreen. The Echo and Alexa were a bet on conversational computing. Amazon opened Alexa to outside developers. Developers built skills like smartphone apps. This rapidly grew Alexa's usefulness. The Echo put Amazon at the center of the emerging smart home. Like the Kindle, the Echo created a new category and placed Amazon at its center. As Amazon grew, it left a trail of disrupted industries and defeated competitors. In its early days, the main rivals were brick-and-mortar bookstore chains, Barnes and Noble, Borders. These giants initially dismissed Amazon as a small, irrelevant online player. They failed to grasp the power of Amazon's infinite selection and lower cost structure. By the time they tried to launch their own websites, it was just too late. Amazon had already built a loyal customer base and a superior technological platform. Borders, once a retail titan, declared bankruptcy in 2011. Barnes and Noble struggled for years, a shadow of its former self. Amazon had fundamentally outmaneuvered them by changing the rules of the game. The battle then moved to general merchandise. Amazon found itself competing with big box retailers Walmart. Walmart, the world's largest retailer, was a formidable opponent. It had perfected the art of supply chain efficiency and low prices in the physical world. For years, Walmart's everyday low prices strategy was unbeatable. But Amazon had a different model. It didn't have the massive overhead of thousands of physical stores. It could operate on razor-thin profit margins. It used technology and data to constantly optimize its operations and pricing. The launch of Amazon Prime was a direct assault on the convenience advantage of physical stores. Amazon's obsession with logistics became its most powerful competitive weapon. The company invested billions of dollars in building a network of enormous fulfillment centers. These warehouses were marvels of automation, with robots scurrying across floors to bring shelves of products to human workers. This network allowed Amazon to store, pick, pack, and ship products with incredible speed and efficiency. It then began building out its own delivery network, with Amazon-branded vans, airplanes, and contract drivers. This reduced its reliance on partners like UPS and FedEx. It gave Amazon even more control over the customer experience, from the moment of a click to the package arriving at the doorstep. This relentless drive for efficiency and scale allowed Amazon to compete on price, selection, and convenience simultaneously. Most retailers are forced to choose one or two of these. Amazon managed to excel at all three. This created a nearly insurmountable advantage. Amazon wasn't just another store. It was a logistics company and a technology company that happened to be in the retail business. On September 4, 2018, Amazon's stock price briefly touched a magic number. The company's market capitalization surpassed $1 trillion. Only the second public company in U.S. history to do so, after Apple. A stunning validation of Jeff Bezos' long-term strategy. The company that started in a garage, sold its first book in 1995, and had been dismissed by Wall Street as a profitless dot-com gamble, was now one of the planet's most valuable corporations. From that first bell ring in the garage to a trillion-dollar valuation took just over 2 decades, a period of almost unprecedented business growth. This valuation wasn't just retail, a huge portion came from Amazon Web Services, AWS. By 2018, AWS led the cloud market. It generated tens of billions in high-margin revenue. Those profits funded aggressive investment. Amazon could run retail on razor-thin margins. It poured billions into Alexa, video streaming, and a growing logistics network. Wall Street saw it as more than a retailer. They valued a dominant technology platform with multiple growth engines. Reaching $1 trillion symbolized a new era of corporate scale. Amazon's influence extended beyond e-commerce. Cloud computing, digital advertising, consumer electronics, entertainment. The Whole Foods buy in 2017 for nearly $14 billion signaled a push into physical retail. Amazon employed hundreds of thousands. Its choices could move markets, shape urban development, and influence daily life. The scale was hard to grasp. It became essential infrastructure for the 21st century economy. But that scale brought challenges and scrutiny. With great power came great responsibility, and great criticism. Lawmakers and regulators asked tough questions. Was it a monopoly? Did it stifle competition? Critics targeted its labor practices, its tax policies, and its environmental impact. The everything store had become the everything company, a target for everyone. Crossing the $1 trillion mark was a triumph and the start of a more complex chapter defined by managing size and global influence. Amazon's epic rise from a garage to $1 trillion behemoth is a story of milestones. It is a timeline of key decisions, starting with books, launching the website, expanding the selection, introducing Prime, building AWS. The river of books became an ocean of everything, powered by a relentless engine of invention. That continues to shape our world. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.